Welcome to this deep dive, where we're exploring what skills are really going to matter, say 2030 and beyond. Because, with technology and automation changing everything so fast, it's not just about what jobs will be around. It's more about who has the right stuff to thrive in them. Prepare to maybe rethink professional development a bit.
Exactly. And for this deep dive, we've got a stack of really compelling sources, industry analyses, global reports, and actually some great insights from our colleague Kevin Brake, too. Our mission really is to unpack why these skills we used to call soft are, well, suddenly becoming critical, how these human capabilities are essentially your future assets. We want to show you the data and how you can use these insights right away.
Okay, let's unpack that perception shift then. Because for ages, it was all about hard skills, wasn't it? The
Yeah.
measurable stuff, literacy, numeracy, soft skills like teamwork or empathy. They felt like an afterthought, hard to quantify, often just left off the CV.
Right, and what's fascinating is how universal that view was. But now, with automation handling more routine work, well, experts are saying we need a whole new language. They're suggesting things like essential skills or complex skills, even human capabilities. And look, this isn't just playing with words. It reflects a really fundamental shift in what actually drives success.
So if the whole landscape is changing like this,
Yeah.
how do we navigate it? I mean, as professionals, our sources seem to point to three uh, pretty powerful reasons why these human skills are suddenly front and center.
Okay, the first one. It's just about relevance. Pure relevance. Forget tying your security to one specific hard skill. Today, your real insurance policy is, well, it's your learnability. As tech shifts incredibly fast, it's your ability to adapt, to stay curious, be flexible in your thinking. That's what keeps you valuable. Not just, the software you learned last year. We're seeing giants like Google, Amazon really emphasize this. And get this, a LinkedIn report. 92% of hiring managers said strong soft skills are increasingly vital. And 89%, they blamed bad hires on a lack of those skills.
Hmm. And this next point feels really key. Automation just can't replace these human skills.
Hmm.
We hear so much about AI getting smarter, but where's that line? The one machines can't cross, especially with things like empathy or real critical thinking.
Well, the data tells a pretty clear story there. David Deming at Harvard looked at trends from 1980 to 2012. He found jobs needing high social interaction grew significantly, almost 12 percentage points in the U.S. workforce. And looking forward, McKinsey, they're forecasting that demand for human cognitive skills, think creativity, critical thinking will jump about 19% in the U.S., 14% in Europe by 2030. And social and emotional skills, even higher, like 26% growth in the US, 22% in Europe. Now, contrast that with basic data input skills, they're projected to fall by maybe up to 23%. It's a huge rebalancing, really. Our unique human stuff is gaining serious market value.
Yeah, that analogy you mentioned, the engine without a driver, will feel spot on. And that leads right into the third reason, doesn't it? Without these so-called soft skills, even brilliant technical expertise is, well, it's just incomplete.
Exactly. I mean, think about it practically. What good is amazing technical knowledge if you can't actually talk to clients or understand what they really need or, motivate your own team? The Much Skills source hammers this home. Great examples. Software devs need business sense. Sales execs thrive on interpersonal skills. And successful managers. They aren't just the ones with degrees. They're the ones who can genuinely engage and inspire people.
Okay, so let's talk specifics. The AI Group Center for Education and Training, they did this huge global survey, right? Over 1,000 employers. And what they found about the most sought-after core skills is pretty revealing.
It really is. Get this. 7 out of 10 employers worldwide point to analytical thinking as the #1 core skill for 2025.
Right.
Find that. Resilience, flexibility, and agility. Then leadership and social influence. And the list goes on. Creative thinking, motivation, self-awareness, tech literacy, empathy, active listening, curiosity, lifelong learning, even talent management. You see the pattern, right? It's overwhelmingly about how we think, how we adapt, and crucially, how we work with others.
But what about the fastest growing skills? Beyond the core stuff, what's emerging? What should we be watching as we head towards 2030?
Good question. For the fastest growing list by 2030, the report flags AI and big data right at the top. No surprise there. Networks and cybersecurity too, and general technological literacy. But what's interesting is creative thinking and resilience, flexibility, agility, they show up on both lists. core and fastest growing. So it highlights this blend, doesn't it? Tech understanding mixed with these uniquely human abilities. Oh, and environmental stewardship is on that list too, which shows, a growing awareness of broader responsibilities.
Okay, since resilience, flexibility, and agility came up so strongly on both lists, maybe we should dig into that a bit more. Like, what does that actually look like day to day? Another source we looked at breaks down 7 essential skills for that.
Yeah, this is vital for just navigating the sheer unpredictability we all face at work now. So first, there's cognitive flexibility. That's about being able to shift your thinking, adapt when things don't go as planned. Then, emotional intelligence, specifically under pressure, managing your own reactions to make clearer choices. And of course, continuous learning agility, staying curious, actively seeking feedback, always developing.
And kind of looking ahead too, right? Being proactive, not just reacting.
Absolutely. That's strategic foresight, spotting trends, preparing for what might be coming down the line. Network cultivation is key too, building diverse connections for different perspectives. And really importantly, recovery rituals. Knowing how to actually recharge after you face challenges, that's critical for the long haul. And finally, having a purpose-driven perspective. It helps align what you do with your long-term goals and values, gives you that anchor in tough times.
We shouldn't forget the foundation, though, digital literacy. It's definitely
Yeah.
way more than just knowing how to, turn on a computer these days.
Oh, precisely. Digital literacy, as one source defines it, it's a really broad skill set now. Yes, it includes critical thinking with digital tools, communicating effectively online, developing content, understanding cybersecurity. But I think crucially, for an informed audience like you listening, it's not just using the tools anymore. It's about understanding their potential biases, knowing how to critically assess information, especially with AI generating so much content. It's really becoming about being a digital strategist, not just a user.
Okay, but how do we actually build this? Especially when, let's be honest, traditional school models just can't keep up with the pace of change.
That is such a vital question. And, a big part of the answer for a lot of people and organizations is e-learning. It really helps democratize education, doesn't it? Makes quality resources accessible almost anywhere. It lets you learn at your own pace, tailor it to your needs. It can use cool interactive stuff like AR and VR for safe, practical application. And for companies, it's often a more cost-effective way to train people. So for you, the listener, it means better job prospects, fosters that lifelong learning mindset, boosts productivity, and for organizations, it gives them agility, helps retain employees, and frankly, gives them a competitive edge.
This whole conversation, it really resonates with some of the work we've seen internally, particularly from our colleague Kevin Brake, who consistently highlights the critical importance of exactly these kinds of skills.
Indeed. Kevin Brake's work perfectly captures this whole shift we're discussing. He's been saying for years that your real advantage in 2030 isn't just the technical stuff, but fundamentally how you think, how you lead, and crucially, how you adapt.
That's so true. And what I find compelling there is how it challenges that old view of intelligence in an AI world. It's less about just knowing facts and more about cognitive flexibility, right? I remember Kevin Brake emphasizing, we all need to look at developing the right skills in the age of AI. It's about working with the tech, not being replaced by it.
Yes, and it's a powerful alignment with broader research, too. Studies show that even top universities aren't necessarily great at developing critical thinking in that broad, adaptable sense. As Kevin Brake often points out, we need to, quote, learn to think before learning what to think. These digital tools, AI, they're incredibly powerful, sure, but as Kevin Brake's research suggests, they're only truly useful with the human engine behind them. The future, as Kevin Brake sees it, is about thinking sharper, leading stronger, moving faster.
And this future, it's not some distant possibilities, and it's happening now. The scale of this change is just immense. It X billion.
It's absolutely staggering scale. One report estimates that over 1 billion jobs globally, that's a third of all jobs, will be significantly transformed by tech by 2030. That means roughly 1 billion people are going to need retraining, reskilling. And if countries don't meet this skills demand, they risk losing out on trillions in GDP growth. It's massive.
It is encouraging, though, to see how employers seem to be stepping up.
Yes, it is. There's definitely a proactive response happening. Globally, 85% of employers say they plan to prioritize upskilling their current workforce. And remarkably, 77% specifically want to reskill and upskill existing employees to work better alongside AI. We're seeing huge commitments, too. Amazon pledging hundreds of millions for cloud computing training, Adecco upskilling millions in areas like data science. So the natural question becomes, how can public policy help? Well, employers mostly favor public funding and support for this reskilling effort, along with, improving the public education systems, too.
So as we start to wrap up this deep dive, It feels incredibly clear. The future of work. It's not just about what you know. It's really about how you learn, how you adapt, and crucially, how you connect with other people. These human capabilities, they really are your future superpowers.
Hmm. The world's changing fast, and the skills that truly keep you relevant, keep you valuable, are increasingly the ones technology just can't replicate. The challenge, but also I think the opportunity, is for all of us to keep cultivating these essential human skills continuously.
So here's a final thought for you to maybe mull over. Considering everything we've talked about today, what specific human skill will you focus on cultivating next, to really future-proof your own career? And maybe think about how you could apply it creatively right now in your everyday work.
Yeah, we'd genuinely love to hear your thoughts on that. If you found this deep dive useful, please do take a second to like it, leave a comment. We honestly do read every single one.
And of course, you can find more detailed reports, deeper insights on all this from leading business publications and research groups. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep exploring.